Welcome back. Rules of Differentiation, Unit 3.3, Day 2. Now, hopefully you did a little bit of practice with the regular kind of problems, and now we can get into the other kinds. A little bit more. Here's our objectives for the day, same as they were at the beginning of the notes. Okay, so the first rule we're covering today is the product rule. Product of two differentiable functions, u and v, is differentiable. d dx uv equals v times du dx or plus u dv dx. The derivative of a product is actually the sum of two products. Now, I used to do this for my students, but this would really get them lost, so we're going to kind of ignore that for now. But this is equivalent of doing u prime v, because I'm going to do this as u times v. So u prime v plus v prime u. If you can remember this, you're going to be in great shape for the derivatives, for the product rule and the quotient rule. Now, before you go through and say, well, why don't we just multiply this out and then just do, you're right. But keep in mind, right now, these are the only rules you know, so I can't do the type that you would most likely see using the product rule. So, because usually it'll have like a logarithm in it, or have a trig function in it, or something like that. So it's usually something more going on that you can't just multiply together. So this one here, we're going to have a lot of side work over here. I'm going to ask that you write this down all the time until it's just embedded in your brain. The product rule is u prime v plus v prime u. And then we're going to do some side work over here to the side. Work that's necessary, but you don't want it in the flow of your problem. So u in this case, I'm going to claim this to be u and this to be v. So u is x cubed minus 4. So u prime is 3x squared. Remember, bring the power down and then take 1 off the power. And a constant is 0, so it's just 3x squared. V equals x squared plus 3. So v prime, 2x, bring 1 power down to set. And now we're ready to do this. So f prime of x equals u prime, which is 3x squared, times v, which is x squared plus 3, plus v prime, which is 2x, times u, x cubed minus 4. No, you may not leave this like this. So we can do a little cleanup now. 3x squared times x squared is going to give us 3x to the 4th. 3x squared times 3 is going to give us positive 9x squared. Plus 2x times x cubed gives us 2x to the 4th, minus 2 times 4, 8x. Combine like terms, and we get f prime of x is equal to 3 plus 2 is 5x to the 4th, plus 9x squared, minus 8x. And there's your derivative for this guy here. Now, if you wanted to double check it, you can multiply this out and then just do the power rule all the way through. Okay, let's try another one. If you want, you can pause the video, try this one on your own, and then watch and see if you got the right answer. So on this one, again, f prime of x is equal to u prime v plus v prime u. So my little side work over here, work that's necessary, but you don't want it in the flow of your problem. U is going to be x squared plus 1. So u prime is equal to 2x. V equals x cubed plus 3. So v prime equals 3x squared. And now we're ready to do the plug and chug, u prime, so 2x times x cubed plus 3 plus v prime 3x squared times u x squared plus 1. And we're just ready to clean up now. So 2x times x cubed gives us 2x to the 4th, plus 2 times 3, 6x, plus 3x squared times x squared gives us 3x to the 4th, plus 3x squared. So f prime in the end, f prime of x equals 2 plus 3, 5, 5x to the 4th, plus 3x squared, plus 6x. And I do realize I'm going kind of fast, but that's what your pause button is for. That you can pause it, and then my video doesn't get so long. Here's one thing I do want to point out to you. Multiplication is commutative, so it really does not matter which one you make u and which one you make v. However, what I do on this, I want to make sure that, I don't even know what word I want to use. Division is not commutative. Anyways, it does matter. So you'll see that I will use this same function here when we go into the quotient rule. It's going to look the same. I'm going to have one little bit of a difference, and then we add something to it. And this is why I always go, the first one I see is u, the second one is v, because when we get to the quotient, the numerator is u, the denominator is v, and we can't change that. So I try to be consistent, that way you don't have to try to remember a new rule. Okay, I think this is going to be the last one. Again, if you want to try and pause it before you get started, see if you got the same answer as I did. So in this case, u is going to be x squared plus 1, so u prime equals 2x. V equals x plus 1, so v prime equals 1. Power of 1, and then the x goes away. So f prime of x equals u prime v plus v prime u. So we get 2x times x plus 1 plus 1 times x squared plus 1. So we get 2x squared plus 2x plus x squared plus 1. Didn't really need that one there, but hey. Combine like terms, 2 plus 1 is 3. So f prime of x equals 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. And there you guys have on that one. So, how did you do? Did you try this problem on your own and then look at the video to see what you got? I really hope you guys are trying that. That way when you work on the worksheets, you're like, oh, okay, cool, I can do these type of problems. Okay, and then our quotient rule. So is v du, u prime v minus u v prime. I can't do it that way. It's u prime v minus v prime u. It's just easier. So there's only difference from this guy here is a subtraction from the product rule. That's why you can see why I always do the u first. And then v squared, you just have to remember that you're going to keep the quotient. So you got to make sure that you set this one up. So at a point where v does not equal 0, the quotient y equals u or v of two differentiable functions is differentiable, and they give it to you. Since order is important in subtraction, be sure to set up the numerator of the quotient rule correctly. Cannot express that one enough. So again, this one here really is going to be u prime v minus v prime u all over v squared. So now you can see it's very much so that you have to be able to identify which is which, and they have to go in order. So here's our first one that we have, x cubed minus 4, x squared plus 3. Side work, it hasn't changed any. u is going to be x cubed minus 4, u prime equals 3x squared. v equals x squared plus 3, v prime equals 2x. And then for our quotient rule, it's going to be u prime v minus v prime u over v squared. So you have to make sure you identify that this is u over v. And now we're ready to plug in. So u prime is 3x squared times v of x squared plus 3 minus v squared, or I'm sorry, v prime is 2x times x cubed minus 4 all over v squared, so that's going to be x squared plus 3 squared. Do not multiply this guy out, just leave him alone. So now we can start playing cleanup. 3x squared times x squared gives me 3x to the 4th. Sorry about that. 3x to the 4th. 3x squared times 3 gives you plus 9x squared minus 2x times x cubed gives you 2x to the 4th. And then those two negatives are going to give you a positive. 2 times 4 gives you 8x. All over x squared plus 3 squared. So now we're just ready to do the last bit of the cleanup. Combine like terms. 3x to the 4th minus 2x to the 4th gives us x to the 4th plus 9x squared plus 8x all over x squared plus 3 quantity squared. Okay. And there you guys go. If it's an obvious being able to clean up, I would expect that you clean it up. If it's not so obvious of a cleanup, then you can leave things alone. Okay. So the next one, let's try this one out and see how you guys do. There it is, u over v. So u prime equals x. I think I should not start so quick. U equals x squared minus 1. So u prime equals 2x. V equals x squared plus 1. So v prime equals 2x. And our quotient rule is u prime v minus v prime u over v squared. So we get 2x times x squared plus 1 minus 2x times x squared minus 1 all over x squared plus 1 squared. Distribute our 2x's. 2x times x squared gives us 2x cubed. 2x times 1 gives us plus 2x. And back to this one, negative 2x times x squared gives us negative 2x cubed. Two negatives make a positive, so I get plus 2x. All over x squared plus 1 squared. So this is going to clean up nicely because my x cubes cancel out. 2 plus 2 is 4, so I get 4x over x squared plus 1 quantity squared. So let's write this properly. F prime of x equals 4x over x squared plus 1 squared. There you guys go. Okay, so we got given you another one, and I gave you a hint on the paper on this one. This one, people will look at going, oh, wow, I have to do the product rule and the quotient rule? No, not necessarily. I mean, you can if you want. I would highly suggest you do not. On this one here, no, our first step here is going to get rid of that multiplication. We can't call it FOIL because FOIL is a binomial with a binomial. So we're going to distribute the x. So we'll distribute the x through and then the -1 through. So x times x squared gives me x cubed. X times x gives me x squared. And x times 1 is x. And then subtract everything by -1. So -1 and x squared is negative x squared. -1 times x is negative x. And -1 and 1 is -1. And you guys can see that a lot is going to drop out here. Those drop out, left with a -1 over x cubed. So f of x is equal to x cubed minus 1 over x cubed. Now, do not think that you can sit here and go, oh, goodbye x cubes. No, 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 no. You cannot do that. And this is something I've seen, and I see it happen too often, because this is a algebra 1-2 kind of mistake. By algebra 3-4, you should not be making these mistakes. When you're factoring or reducing a fraction, it's factors. Factors are things being multiplied together. X cubed and 1 are being subtracted from each other. So you cannot go in there and go, oh, let me take out these x cubes. No, you cannot do that. Okay, so now we're ready to do the derivative. A lot of prepping on this problem. So u is equal to x cubed minus 1. So u prime 3x squared. V equals x cubed. So v prime equals 3x squared. So f prime of x is going to be u prime v minus v prime u all over v squared. So we get 3x squared times x cubed minus 1 minus 3x squared times, yes, I just saw it. I'm going, something's not right. Let me erase. Okay, u prime v, 3x squared times x cubed, done. Minus 3x squared times x cubed minus 1. All over v squared, in this case, is x cubed squared. So let's start cleaning this up. X squared times x cubed is x to the 5th, so we get 3x to the 5th. Remember, the spaces are the same, you add your exponents. If you raise the power to a power, you go to that's when you multiply. So that did minus 3x squared times x cubed gives us again 3x to the 5th. Negative times negative is a positive, 3x squared. All over x is, remember, power to a power, you multiply, so x to the 6th. Our x to the 5th cancel out, and we're left with 3x squared over x to the 6th. After a cleanup, f prime of x is going to equal, you guys, I can cancel that out and make that a 4. So I get 3 over x to the 4th. Derivative is much nicer than our original problem was. Okay, and that is in day 2. All we did was product rule and quotient rule. And you can see that it can take some time. So get some practice in there before we get into the next one. Good luck.